Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. How are you guys doing this evening? Alright, so this is actually a follow-up episode to what was going on last night. Of course, you guys know we had the fire at Bricktown Police Station. Basically wiped out the whole station, right? There's a lot of things going on. Now, I'm sitting here and I'm watching the statement made by our president, Dr. Irfan Ali, right? I believe he was at Bricktown when he was making this statement about 9 hours ago. And there are some important factors that he mentioned, such as statements that were made in New York by opposing political candidates, okay? And certain threats and things like this that were levied against, our country and our right to choose our political leaders and, to live a peaceful and fair and good life, right? There are some people that definitely don't want to see that happen, all right? However, our president knows this already. This is not a new thing, okay? This is definitely not a new thing. So this is something that we've known about in terms of there being inside persons who are inside the system, whether they're public servants, whether they're private businesses. There are so many people in this country that are working against this country for the sake of their own selfishness. That is almost unbelievable how many people could be participating in such things, right? First and foremost, our government should well be aware that our public service in our country, our public service sector is pretty marginalized, okay? And if you look at our public service sector, right, the reality is a majority of our public servants are not PPP supporters, I'll tell you that much. Okay, it's pretty much one-sided. We spoke about this in the past. We spoke about cleaning up the police department. The police department definitely needs cleaning up. The police force needs cleaning up, right? But it's not just the force. There are many, many other areas. You see, ladies and gentlemen, what we are experiencing now is the backlash of political corruption. Okay? Why do I say this? Over the years, both parties have been in control of this country, and both parties have been systematically putting their people in all of the places that they need their people in order to trip up the next guy in case he ever wins. Right? Everything from a negligent work attitude, which we consider laziness. It's not really laziness, it's systematic negligence, right? Police force, fire department, post office, GT&T, GPL, anything's got to start with the G gun, right? And more than that too. Housing, so many other areas that were controlled by government, they don't function correctly, right? You walk into a place, you meet the public servant, that is not the public servant, that is a new king or queen sitting in that chair. So for get past reception, you gotta bow down to the king or queen at that reception before you can even get the chance to talk to whoever you really coming to talk to. This has been the practice, okay? Even as it is now, we cannot keep effective law and order because of a marginalized police force. We cannot keep proper safety in terms of our fire safety, ambulance, all this thing, because of other marginalized public sectors. Right? And I don't know how else to say this. I can say this one way. It's pretty much one race of people. that are controlling the whole public service. And if that race of people feels that the other race of people don't like them, what's country you think they're going to do? What do you think they're going to do? We are in a country where we suffered a brain drain. So let's face it, most of our adults still have problems communicating in the English language. Which is why most Guyanese have to scream and shout at each other, argue, chop up, bust down, lick down, and every single thing before they get their point across. Right? Ignorance in our society leads to more hostility. And then it leads to more bad treatment. Now, I don't know about you, right? But I know about me. And I know if I'm mistreated too often by the same type of people, I can start to feel away. So, I'm sure black people feel in a way if they feel Indians are having more of a dominant economic status than them. And I'm sure Indians are feeling a way when they can't feel safe. Because, you know, the real talk that's happening here in Guyana, it's still this Indian against black thing, and that's what the politicians predominantly want you to feel it is. Especially politicians who are telling their people to undermine this government at every opportunity. Listen, man, I'll tell you this. I'm not a fan of everything my government does at this moment. Okay? But I will tell you one thing. Under the PPP, my dumb ass can sit right here, right now, and still, I mean, not perfect, but I can still talk and tell you the truth. I gotta watch my back in other areas, right? Because they're a little bit more sneaky than the other ones. The other ones that send gunman for kill you. These people here now, they just do you different. They're gonna shut down your financial life from every aspect they could and try to torment you till you up guns and go and get them. Right? It's a different story. I understand. So I'm not gonna tell you that it's perfect yet. We're on the road. We're trying to move. Right? Ain't nothing perfect. Okay? Our president ain't perfect. But the fact that he ain't sent somebody to come and harass me about this UN speech yet, I feel that he's a good guy. He got a good sense of humor. At least I know he can laugh. But this thing changing up. Right? The whole system changing up because there is a bigger, more nefarious plot that is currently happening in this country. And the reality is public security, you know, it's on the line. It is seriously on the line. And unfortunately, you know, like I said, I told you, I mean, I'm not going to agree with everything that this government does. Just like Mr. Charan Das, I am not a yes man. And I hate yes men. Because they're going to tell you yes whether you're right or wrong, and that's not a good type of man to have around you. There are so many things that must be addressed. And it must be addressed on a national level. Right? I'll tell you this. If the police force can get cleaned up and prove to be a non-biased place, I've got 2,000 young Guyanese men between the ages of 18 to 28 ready to join the force, healthy, active, and already trained. We're waiting. But we're not going to join to be discriminated or to be treated like shit or to be underpaid. Because at the end of the day, these young men, they got families to provide for. And you can't expect them to go there and start off on a 60,000 Guyana dollars a month and they got to put their life on the line. One of the reasons why this type of headache could happen within the public service sector is because public servants are not paid enough. Mind I say they're doing a real shitty job, so maybe they're getting paid what they deserve. But I do believe that if there was more of a financial incentive and more systems of accountability, then things could, things could change. But you can't expect people out there all the time, standing in hot sun, dealing with traffic, dealing with everybody else's problem, and you don't want to pay them correctly. That is why so many of our officers got pull over people wrongfully and ask for bribe, or force people into paying bribe. That's why you could walk into certain agencies all over the country, and if you got a little bit of money, you could get through. You know why? Because the government itself keeping the public servants hungry. Well, if you keeping them hungry, let me tell you something, right? A dog can go wherever feed any better. And the reality is the politicians have treated the population, including the public servants, like dogs for years. Right? And it's not just the PPP that did it. APNU did that shit. APNU did that shit with freaking bows and candles and shit and made it look pretty. Right? It almost looks as if the government, over the course of the last how many ever decades, systematically starved our people of opportunities in order to keep people compliant to bribery and corruption. And then every time someone does something illegal, then instead of addressing the matter, we tend to just hold, one over their head and say, don't worry, you owe me one. And everybody collecting their debt, but nobody's paying their debt to society. I think somebody asked me, right? Somebody just said, what is this? I want to see the comment. Let me see if I can bring it back up. Right? Someone was like, so what's your solution? Okay, well, it's simple. As it pertains to public service, the president has made one of the best calls he could have possibly made by saying we need outside intervention. And that is very true. Very, very, very true. We need outside, non-biased intervention to guide, assist, and also help to hold persons accountable, so that when people are charged, they can't pick up the phone and say, I can call the president because I know he. I can call this officer because I know he. Because with that outside entity there, even if the call come to the big boy, somebody watching the big boy know better. Because if the big boy want to play big boy and make that and bend the course of law, there's somebody watching him. We must guide the management of our public service, and we must make it fair. And the reality is, in order to make it fair, you, Mr. President, will need the assistance of the international community for more than likely the duration of your term in office, followed by our country needing that support for at least another term, in order to keep things consistent for a long enough period of time for us to root out the persons that have a double agenda inside our public service. It is immediately important that our government invests heavily into our public service areas, and in doing so create some housing in our capital for non-biased, free-minded individuals who are willing to work with the government in these various sectors and help to house our brilliant young men and young women from across the country who cannot afford, due to the current circumstances, to get to the areas and live there and work. All of our major public service areas, we are plucking people that are convenient to our disposition that we can grab. We are only pulling people from hand's reach. But our country is big. Well, it's bigger than a lot of people know. And there are thousands and thousands of people who are willing and looking for opportunity. But what often happens is, before they are ready to take that step in that direction, their spirit is broken. Our police force and our public service has become the garbage pile for skills. You never hear somebody go into UG say, I coming out to become a policeman. Your head good? You never hear somebody going to a technical institute in Guyana, or even taking a college, an online college course, to tell you, "Bye, I want to be a police officer. I want to be a post girl. I want to be the secretary at housing." You don't hear people doing the scut. It's seriously, because at the end of the day, there is nothing. There's no integrity in those agencies. There's no reason for people to feel proud about what they do. The army, all of these things, these have become people's last resort at survival. So they take it because, well, they need a job. I know the force ain't really got nobody, so the force need to take people to show their numbers. And this is part of the problem. For sake of necessity to have people on the road so that the public feels secure, we put in every and anybody's skunt on the road. And 90% of the time, the people who are coming in aren't even qualified to pass CXC. But yet, because they know people in the force and thing, they get to play in. And because they get to play in where they would have otherwise not had an opportunity, now they owe a debt to somebody else who helped bring them into the force. Well, let me tell you this. When you're a woman, it's horrible for you. Because the reality is, most people in the police force, them banging each other. I would never want to have a woman that I know as a police officer in this country, simply because of what I see and what I know. These are things happening Wild West. I have helped to shelter and relocate women who were in the force being taken sexually advantage of. Simply because, well, that was a choice for them. That was one of the few choices they had left. And when they went in there, yeah, they look a little nice. They got a little bobby, little bouncy. Guess what happened? Some inspector inspected more than he should. You want a higher position? Well, you got to get into position. This is the reality. Plenty of people ain't gonna talk it. Plenty of people ain't gonna say it. Because when you say it, oh God, you know how many toes you're stepping on there? Let me tell you what, first and foremost, in public service, it's a man's world. In public service industry in Guyana. And I just feel horrible for the women who have to work in public service. Because the type of treatment they receive there is not always great. But they can't talk. Because if they talk, the little bit of security that they have, it may disappear. Then who gonna help them? Then who gonna help them? So our people, they're hungry, they're desperate. And because of that, wicked forces are able to take advantage of that psychological, physical, financial, economical weakness that is affecting our people. Why do you think we have so much bribery and corruption and this? Because that has become the resort that has gave people a chance. I hate the corruption in my country, but I don't hate my people for being corrupt, because that has become the only means for them to survive. And I could understand it, because if I'm starving to death and you wouldn't even give me a piece of bread, and you got a whole loaf in front of me, and you eating it lavishly in front of my face, I'm gonna take that bite you just took before you could swallow it. I'll pull it out your throat if I have to. Why? Because you made me starve, and then you made me watch. Why? You waste the little things that you had there. You could have shared. You could have do something. But no. For the sake of you having the bread and we not having none, you felt empowered. So these are areas that must be addressed. Now, I spoke about issues in the past about domestic terrorism. Currently, we are in a very precarious situation here in our country, where we are being affected by domestic terrorists. Right? Take account of the fact that simple everyday shit is not being done correctly. The water pump systems, man sleeping. Them falling asleep while the country flooding. There's one area. Fire service couldn't make it 2 blocks down the road to put out the fire. Not an area. Now, I don't know about anybody, right? I'm watching a lot of things. Not just watching it, I'm affected by it, because, there's a lot of people that say, we love our country and this. And there's a lot of people out there, there's a lot of people in the States talking about, let's change our country. But I don't know how you guys plan on changing it from being all the way out there. I've always tried to figure this one out, right? If you think that anybody over here who has grown up in such desperate situations really gives a shit about making sure you see what it is you would like to see, you're dead wrong. You're dead wrong. These people were not raised like that. And it's not their fault. This is a tragedy caused by a broken society. And it's going to take society changing the way we think to fix it. This poison is all over our bloodstream. We need dialysis, baby. Understand what I'm telling you. We need to pass this thing through a machine. We need to clean it. But we can't waste a drop, because that drop is our blood. That's our life. That's our people. So now we need systems to clean this up. Right? Persons connected to the last political party that was running this country have already publicly waged war upon our government. Publicly, they have waged war upon our current government. Here's the problem that I have with that. When they are carrying out their war, they don't care what they do to all of the innocent people in this society that never wanted to be a part of that war. People like me. people like you, we didn't sign up for this shit. This is not what we signed up for. And any political party that is so selfish that they're going to willingly want to do things or talk about or incite or insinuate or put those ideologies out there and tell their supporters to undermine this government by doing this and doing that, they need to be tried for treason against our country. They need to be tried immediately. I love my country. I don't like wicked people. I don't like what happened to me. Many days I want to lash out. But you know what? With power comes responsibility. And yes, people like me, we can lash out. But the reality is, it's counterproductive if we lash out in the wrong way. Because at the end of the day, our initiative, our goal is not to destabilize our country further, but to improve upon the little bit of good that we still have and to save it before it is gone. And I can firmly tell you that there are going to be a lot of decisions that are being made, that the public is watching, and it is affecting the psychology of our public. And it is giving ammunition to opposition forces. One of those issues is taking contracts that Guyanese could do and giving them to foreign companies when we have people in Guyana that could do the work. Millions and millions and millions of dollars are being hauled out of this country by foreigners who are getting contracts to do jobs that Guyanese can do. Guyana is a country. We produce in lumber, green heart, all them special wood. But we got call people from another country for build a wooden building for we. Yeah. So if the government wants to know why some people might be willing to undermine you, that's one of the reasons. That is one of the reasons. Stop giving the opposition the ammunition they need against you. Sometimes when I come out here and I talk and I might dig it in some of y'all think maybe this man don't like you. No, but it's better I tell you, Scott. Better I tell you and you fix it before the wrong man pick it up and use it to finish you off. You're not as strong as you think. Title don't fight war, soldiers do. So take it from a man who is be on the front line. I don't send soldiers, I run first. You want to bring in some foreigners? Don't bring in the foreigners and give them the contract. Hire a couple foreigners to come and assist in guiding our people. Our people will be more prone to learn it. Invest in our people. Invest in them. They are willing to learn it. Right? It's gonna take them a little bit to learn it right. But not all of we in Guyana is dunce, you know. Plenty is smarter than me. I's the stupid one. But we got a lot of people smart out there. If they can learn how to thief 20 different ways to Thursday, I'm sure they can learn how to do 1 and 2 simple freaking tasks. They can do it. Can do it. If you know our society has certain weaknesses, help to monitor those weaknesses. You need to understand your weakness to protect yourself from it. You also need to acknowledge it. I don't know how we plan on moving forward if we can't acknowledge the past wrongs that we've committed, or the stupid decisions that you know have taken root. We need to acknowledge where we have a problem. Before redemption, there must be remorse, and before remorse, there must be accountability. And only after those have happened can you see salvation. There's no shortcut to success. None. This is not something that you could bend. You're playing with people's feelings. You're playing with everything. Don't you see it blowing up in your face? How bad must it get before we start to acknowledge where we as a people have made bad decisions? I am firmly in support of the statements that our president made today in relation to the fire service having to take accountability. But Mr. President, in dishing out and selecting who must be accountable, sir, you must also put everybody who has ever been in control of the city of Georgetown and their water supply. You must hold them accountable as well. You must hold sanitation systems, garbage people, the people in charge, you must hold them accountable as well. It is my belief that if a man takes a public office and he cannot perform his job, that reviews should be happening at least quarterly on his performance or her performance. And if they are not up to par, recommendations to have that person changed should be put immediately into effect. We cannot afford to play games with these crucial systems, or what I would consider vital arteries for the body that we call this country. Insure milk, sold at JFWW Network Wholesalers. Call 233-6997. We have it by the case. I'm sorry, I don't have sponsors, so I have to sponsor myself. If you guys would like to be a sponsor, please call 622-1957 and help me keep this show alive. Because trust me, when you talk the truth, plenty of people don't want to do business with you. So you gotta do business with yourself. Alright, and we will continue. Sorry guys, I have fun with reality. It's just, you know, what else can you do? Okay? But I'm not playing. We do sell Insure milk, right? Keep you good. Right? But yeah, guys, you know, we must address these things directly. We need performance reviews. I spoke about this thing, and some people probably thought it was a joke when I said it. And what I said was that all public service offices, ministers, things like that, everything should be on a live. We should have a direct Facebook Live into these offices. I guarantee things start happening better. Guyanese behave different when they know they're on camera, you know. Trust me. They can dress more clean for come to work. They can pay attention to their appearance. They can pay attention to their actions because they know people watching. Right now, we live in a system where in the public service field, they know that there is a limitation on supervision. So we need to increase the amount of non-biased, non-prejudiced persons of supervisory roles and have them there. And the only way to make sure that it is fair and it is not compromised by either major political party is to have the international community involved in it. Because I don't think you're going to want me, you know, they're not going to want me involved in it. I'll probably do a much better job than the international community, because at the end of the day, the international community is going to want something in exchange. Nobody does something for nothing. Right? Our gold is get sell out. Everything else is get sell out. Our oil is lubricate. We bamsy. So what else could you do? Right? But at least if we done giving away whatever we got, we should get at least, you know, structure from it all. Right? We need some degree of structure. We paying for it. Can't say we ain't paying for it. 98% gone, 2% left. Right? We paying for it. Don't make joke. We paying for it. Right? Paul Singh, you think the government gotta have time with who crying and who saying what? This is an interest of national security. And in order to make it fair, every single public servant should have to take a lie detector test. To find out. That lie detector test should also be limited to certain types of questions. But I do believe that it is necessary. It is necessary. You see, we have another problem with security. One of those major problems is, you know, Guyana's a small country. So everybody know everybody. So this is what we should do. We should probably rent some officers from overseas for a certain period of time to assist. We need that support. We need structure. We need training. Only then can we take advantage of the necessary or the opportunities that are currently available to us, which are currently the opportunities that other persons are taking advantage of. But the Guyanese people don't benefit from it. Why? Due to the brain drain, due to horrible politics. Guyanese are so busy on survival that education was not a priority. You don't believe me? What's really going on with school right now? Most of them teenagers don't know one skunt that they're doing. Plenty of them knocking about. This is reality. I'll tell you straight, the other day, a 17-year-old girl come asking me for a job. She couldn't even read. There's a pretty girl. What do you think is going to happen with that young lady? What do you think is already happening with that young lady? And here's the sad part. If our leaders don't care what happens to a young lady like that they have never met in their life, well, then they're not good leaders. Because that young lady represents a fraction of the people here in this country who are living under the poverty level, under a basic education level, under a social communication level. Like, everything is lower. What do you think is going to happen? Well, let me explain something to you. The same thing that gonna happen to she is happening to this whole country. You wanna talk truth? That's truth. That's the raw, hard truth, you know. That is the raw, hard truth. And there is no agency that is going to check or make it a requirement to help educate these young people. There are no special programs that are out there to help these young people. It is so limited. These are the reasons why I have problems with certain forms of governance. These are the reasons why I get upset when I see misspending of resources on stupid shit. Because I'm on the ground and I see areas that our population needs help and assistance. They need it. But before I see them get the help and assistance that they genuinely need, we buy a helicopter. We putting up big matchstick building. I mean, come on, let me think about it, you know. Think. For such a small country, we got a ton of big problems. And they're not really big problems, they're problems that should have been addressed. They're smaller problems. But due to the fact that no one has adequately addressed these problems, they have compounded upon us. One grain of sand don't feel like weight, but a truckload will break your back. And unfortunately, the weight is too much for this government alone to carry. Not with the current leadership that we have there. No disrespect, Dr. Irfan Ali, my president. Their intentions are good. Their intentions are genuine. Their speeches don't make sense half the time, but sometimes they do. 50% still better than nothing. I can take what I can get and I can build upon it. So, but likewise too, sir. 65 people sitting at the top talking nice story can't do the job. I never see you personally build a bridge yet. There's the man them on the ground. I never see a minister pave a road yet. There's the man on the ground. This is reality. This is reality. And honestly speaking, in the interest of the public, I think those lie detector examinations should be done publicly. Respectfully, but publicly. Do you know why I say publicly? Because they're public servants. And I would like to see who has been collecting our tax money and what the hell is really going on. And I think we have a right to see that. Right? You see in America, in different countries, they have so many different agencies to monitor each other, that even though America is not perfect, they still get some degree of, you know, better systems because they have more systems of accountability. Mark Craig, that's never gonna happen, my boy. Well, it depends. Well, if they don't want to take the lie detector, well, then they gotta quit or be terminated from the force or be terminated from public service. Let me tell you something. There gets to be a point where national security trumps civil liberties. And when our police stations are burning and we can't protect our citizens because of internal chaos, yeah, then public security trumps civil liberties. And if you don't believe me and you don't think that that's right, then none of us should have ever had to take a vaccine. So now you argue with Gus Scott. I waiting for the argument. I waiting for any world leader to tell me that the safety of our population does not trump a civil liberty. Because if that is the case, then we need to hang all of these people for making us take coronavirus vaccines. Let we go. I'm waiting for the argument against it. I'll drink my Ensure. Sold by JFWW Network Outlet. Located 3 Public Road, Baggettstown. Telephone number 233-6997. We have cases available. Ensure. Once again, thanks to the sponsor. Right? But this is the reality. This is the reality of what it is. I bet that left a lot of you thinking there just now, didn't it, huh? I bet that left a lot of you thinking just now, huh? What happens if they don't want to take the lie detector? Well, they get fired. And they can't come in the building because they don't have their card. They don't have their lie detector. I took my public service test card. Right? Just letting you know. Because at this moment, public security trumps civil liberty. We are under attack by domestic terrorists. Our people live in fear. It is the government's job to make this correct. And I'm sure you will have the support of every major country in this planet, on this planet I should say. When you tell them that you need their support to make this a reality, in the interest of the safety and the livelihoods and the health and the safety of your population, and thanks to the pandemic that does struck the world, it has clearly showed us that the principles of governance and civil liberties is a falsity. We only have them because they allow us to. How many of you were forced to take shots and do things that you did not want to do? But systematically, you were forced to. You couldn't get a bank account. You couldn't go in the bank, I should say. You couldn't go to school. You couldn't go and buy your groceries to feed your family. Couldn't do plenty of things. Tell me, ladies and gentlemen. Is this not the sensible thing? So for the person that wondered, right, how do I plan on fixing it? What's the solution? Yeah, that would be a part of the solution. That would be a serious part of the solution. And constant internal investigations and integrity tests. And I can honestly tell you from investigating the Police Complaints Authority that there is no strong system of investigation on an internal level unless it is a witch hunt. So yes, Mr. President, I agree with you, sir. We need as much international support as we could. And I don't think that you should take free support. I think support should be paid for because we get the money for pay. I think with all the money they're wasting around the country, I do believe our safety and security is worth the investment. The amount of public assets that you spoke about that we have invested in that we could not keep safe versus the amount of assets that we have lost due to fire or negligence. If you check all of that money and you add it up, I'm sure if we paid for a little outside assistance, we can save ourselves. But don't ask for free assistance. Ask for free assistance before they assist you with a glass of Kool-Aid. Be very careful. That you like free thing. Not me. Yeah, I know what they're gonna give you for free. So don't ask for nothing free. Or you get a good ice cold glass of Kool-Aid in your skin. Mr. Jones special for you. Right? So know what you're doing. Don't ask for free thing. Babe, we getting money. And Mr. President, you can't tell me we're not getting money. Those glasses that you're wearing on your face, that shit looks like real gold frames, bro. Designer frames at that. And when you were a minister, you didn't have that. So I know we got money. Don't tell me we don't. Gold frames ain't cheap. Right? Sorry. They're really nice frames. They stood out. You made a fashion statement. You got my attention. I have regular plastic frames. I was jealous. Kind of curious as to how much it cost though. What are they, Versace? Hugo Boss? El Presidente? I don't know. What brand is it? Very curious. Right? But, you know, so I know we got the money. You can't tell me we don't. Right? Got a lot of people taking trips and stuff. And if we're running low on money, I heard somebody got some money in a Capital One account somewhere in the States. Maybe we could collect that back. I also heard somebody bought a yacht, so maybe we could auction that shit and get back some money. Right? There was also a guy who got caught with a plane with a whole bunch of money in it. So that's another set of money. So, you know, Guyana got a lot of money. It's just that it don't get to the people. It gets to some people, it don't get to everybody. Right? So, you know, we got money. At least I know we got $780 million to go and put up a wooden building. Spend half there and spend the other half and hire some help. We need it now, sir. If you're interested, I have contacts to at least 500 to 600 former military personnel who worked with different countries who are willing to come and take a private contract and assist our police force, assist our military, assist our fire services. We have access to professional accountants from all over the world. I can have 20,000 professional accountants come here once the government is willing to pay for it and audit every single facility and agency that we have, all the way back to the beginning of time that we started keeping records. That can be done in a period of 1 month. You'll be surprised how smart people are in this world. And right away, you can start to find out who's been thieving. You can start to find out where all your broken systems are. There's a lot of things you can learn. But you see, Mr. President, you have the resources. I can't. I found the right people for you. But you got to pay them if you need them to do the job. Because I know you sitting in office, you ain't sitting there for free. And none of these so-called people who ran for politics and position are sitting there and actively saying, I love my country so much, I don't want a paycheck. No, none of them ain't saying that shit. All of them are saying, give me more, give me more, give me more. That's what they're saying. Some of them say, oh God, this job harder than I expect, but need more money. Right? It's a reality. This is reality. But I do not disagree with you, sir. I 100% agree with you that all of this is domestic terrorism. This is an inside attack. This is people who got people on the inside, and because they got enough of a stronghold on your government from inside, they're going to flip your skunt upside down. And since you became president, sir, I have not seen you take no realistic action in curbing those issues. Right? So what I'm hoping, you could stay home with us a little bit here in Guyana. We need Daddy for a minute. Send Uncle Barat to the UN for deal with speech from now on. And you focus here, sir. Right here. This is where we need you. We don't need you out and about. Our country is sick. We need a doctor. Sorry, I couldn't help it. I couldn't help it. Forgive me, sir. I'm just going to be making jokes about that, like, throughout your whole term, in and out. But it's all meant in, like, you know, it's all meant in fun humor. Plus, I do believe you have a sense of humor. In fact, I definitely believe you have a sense of humor. How do I know? Because, sir, you as well as me, we both know one thing. And that is very simple. You know that the fire department was never effective at putting out a fire. Because as soon as you left the housing ministry, the whole housing ministry burnt down. So you as well as I know that they needed to have better training from so long ago. But it's okay if we have a lot to fire them. Because God was so funny. He sent a snowman for melting this place and put out the fire. Ironic, isn't it? Right? Ironic. Sorry, bit of a historian myself. Somebody once told me I was a jack of all trades. Historian is one of those jack trades out there, right? You know, sometimes I get a little nuts and stuff in my head. It's the red man madness. You know, we red man, then we kind of maddy up here, right? That's why I tell you, I don't define myself as a smart person. I'm pretty dunce. But that is read book and thing, right? I keep track of chronological events. I think I have ADD. I have an all dumbass detection system. Yeah, I have ADD. Right? Right? All dumb shit detection. As soon as I see some dumb shit, I'm gonna detect it. I have ADD. Do you have ADD as well? I'm still trying to determine if the, you know, medical definition of ADD is even relevant. But who knows? I have to ask you, sir, you're the doctor. Is my ADD a health condition? Or is it a psychological brain condition? You know, kind of out there. But I do agree with you very much, sir, that we are under an attack. Because my ADD systems have detected some dumb shit happening. And we must address it. So, sir, I agree with you. Got a lot of people that agree with you. And we want to do our part to help. So, I'm hoping that your government is not biased toward people with my mental disposition. And maybe, you know, you give me a chance to watch over something, you know, so that this ADD system that I got could work in your interest. So I can do more for my people. Because there's a lot that still needs to be done. Hey, I just realized something. You're doctor, which means you have MD, right? Or maybe, I don't know which type of doctor are you. MD, PhD, I don't know which one it is, right? But you know, I got a D too, ADD. They're right there. Right? So all we got something. We all got title now. I'm hoping that the international community can step up to assist our country. I hope from these lives they can get a clearer picture and a better understanding as to what is truly happening on the ground. And maybe I don't have the right answer. I'm not perfect. But I'm pretty sure with all of those brilliant people that we have out there, somebody got to know how to fix it. Now, my ADD sensors are popping up on another issue. An issue that still, you know, partly ties into this. Has anyone heard the rumor, and I'm saying rumor because I haven't verified it yet. In fact, let me go and see if I can verify it right now. And there is a rumor that someone confessed to lighting the prison on fire. Or not the prison, someone confessed to lighting the police station on fire. Right? And let's see. Yeah, so I see it here on Newsroom. They said police headquarters reported that Clarence Green of Princess Street, they spell Princess wrong. Newsroom. Who spells Princess with one S? Are you guys really journalists? Like, seriously? With so much uncertainties in this country right now, you should not be doing that dumb shit. How can you misspell princess? Newsroom. Seriously. Please send somebody to monitor the media as well. Hopefully we can get a journalist who can spell and read and write English to come and proofread the shit out of everything that goes out here. Right? Newsroom, big news agency, can't spell princess. Right? So, President, you can't say uncertain and they can't spell princess. We have an uncertain princess in the house. We need a prince. Maybe he's a frog. Maybe he can turn into something. Big unicorn. Something, I don't know. It's just, you guys just... Anyway. I don't even know if this name is right anymore. Because these people couldn't spell princess. Right? Anyway. Let me read this thing back over again. Police headquarters reported that Clarence Green of Princess Street Lodge, Georgetown, told investigators during his confession on video that he was frustrated after being in the lockups for a couple of hours, and so he set the station on fire. Yeah. Okay. I gotta go to these cards, right? These cards. I like drawing stuff out because sometimes when something doesn't make sense to me when I read it, I like.
Not pencil.
No, pen is fine, right? Right. Let's see something. So he was in the lockups. This is his story, right? He was in the lockups. Okay. This little big shitty ass wooden building here. right? You got the other little buildings connected. Actually, this building's connected here. You got like water tower areas. And then you got the next little traffic headquarters. You got the ugly ass building there. Yeah, okay. Sorry about my rendition of Breakdown Station, but it still looks better than it was looking at on the satellite view. So this would be the lockups here, right? This would be the lockups here. This is going to be where the dude was, where the so-called Clarence Green was. He would say he was here, locked up. Listen to the statements. During his confession on video, he was frustrated after being in the lockups for a couple of hours, and so he set the station on fire. If he was in the lockups, that is the strong concrete building that did not get burned. Okay? If he was in the lockups, this means my boy has already been arrested by police. Okay? They would have already made him empty his pockets before they put him in the lockup, because they have to take him into custody. Right? They have to take this man into custody. They got to take all of his possession. They got to take his lighter. They got to take his wallet. They take his belt. They take these things. They put it in the strong safe or wherever they keep property. Right? Good. They put it in there, and then they put the till over there in a concrete box with concrete and steel. They put it over there. How the building over there, Scott, get burned, and the next building over there get burned if he was locked up in a cell over there? So that shit sounds as phony as spelling princess with one S. Something don't sound right. If that man had that type of capability, how did they ever lock you up? How did they ever catch this man for lock you up? Man, you talking about Jesus Christ that's gone by. That's Jesus Christ. That ain't Clarence Green. That's Jesus Christ. No, that's Peter. You lock you up, an earthquake come, the jail cell bust open, the man walk out. That was Peter in the Philippines. Sorry, for those of you who know history. Like I said, I study history. It's funny. I don't believe it. I think you're trying to piss on our backs and tell us it's rain. That shit ain't rain. It smells funny. That shit is too hot to be rain. The story, right? The story don't make sense. I've been wrongfully locked up. I know the whole procedure. The whole procedure. I know it. So when I hear that type of bullshit story, I can't believe. I can't believe that. For dead, I can't believe that. Then a man who apparently, I think this guy, so he was already arrested on Saturday for armed robbery. Okay? He's 26 years old. He was arrested for armed robbery, which means that is, he has been accused of armed robbery. Because being arrested does not mean you're convicted yet. You still have to go through the system, and this is Guyana. There's always a chance that he could get out if he knows the right people. So, why would he take a possible jail and turn it into a definite long-term incarceration? This don't make sense. No way anybody could tell me that whole place go down. And the man who started, let me show you where Strong Cell there by. Let me show you. You see that building is still standing there? This building here is the building the man said he was in. He was in the lockup. The man said he was in the lockup. If you are at Brickdown Police Station and you are in the lockup, ladies and gentlemen, this is the building that you are in. This building got some sick bar, got some solid concrete. Okay? How he make it from here? Much less if the fire department say the thing was started with, or the story is that the man started with a lighter and, what was it? The man started with a lighter and a piece of a mattress or something. So hold on. So, how the man get from inside there under full lockdown? How the man even make it around the complex with a lighter and a mattress and all the police there in the place, and nobody ain't noticed that this guy who was just arrested for armed robbery is somehow walking around the goddamn complex with sponge and a lighter? Nah, something wrong. Something don't make sense there, sir. And you know damn well right? You know damn well, sir, that don't make no sense. I would like to see an international investigative team investigate that man, as well as check out his psychology, his state of mind. Find out if this man is on drugs. Find out if this man has anything to lose. If this man doesn't have nothing to lose, check the man family. See if anybody in the man family suddenly coming into some money. Start checking everything out. Because if a man know he going down for 25 or 30 years on something, he might as well take the blame on 10 things and make sure his family get paid good. Something ain't sounding right here, sir. And if I could feel this way, and all them big boy officers you got there who have worked at Brickdam Station already, who are stationed at Brickdam Station already, if they can't figure out that something don't sound right about dust hunt, then you need to fire all of them. They're all involved. Just my opinion, not necessarily saying names as to who, but if anybody can hear Dust's story and see and hear that that man said he was locked up in the building and somehow the other buildings catch on fire and he said he do it and they believe he, whoever said they believe he, you gotta go hold them. You gotta lock this cunt up, something wrong there, because they might be the ones looking for somebody easy for blame. You need to get the people that got the confession. You need to find the people that transported that man. Also, the fact that the man was arrested for armed robbery, I would like to see the victim of that armed robbery, to ensure it was not a setup and he was just accused of armed robbery for somebody that later on plans on dropping the charges for armed robbery, and sometimes the man was just placed in the building to take the blame. These are things that need to be addressed. And if it is found that there is a fancy cover-up, and it is found to be that officers and persons are involved, and politicians or whoever, sir, I am asking that you don't put these people in prison. As you see, they're used to burning shit down. I ask that you line them up to a wall and you graciously, with your bad boy glasses on, Nice gold trimming thing. Put a bullet in each one of their heads. In the interest of our population. I don't know if you think you're going to be a great president without being able to impart discipline upon this country. You're dealing with violent people, sir. We are under violent attack by desperate people. You must be a stronger president, sir. Or do what other people did, man. Hire cartel for do the work for you, and when cartel get too big, throw them under the bus to the DEA and left them there for 10 years, and everything good. It worked for somebody in the past. I ain't saying no names, but it worked for somebody. Might work for you. If it ain't broken, don't fix it. I'm sorry, I'm just such a funny dude. You guys have no idea. Unfortunately, though, my jokes can probably get me killed, right? But it's gonna be hilarious when it happens. Why is it gonna be hilarious? Because if they kill me, I'm coming back for revenge. And oh God, you would not want a zombie like me haunting you. I tell you straight. I wanted them zombie. Every time you go down for sleep, I can pull out your pubic hair and tickle your nose with it. I can do something. I can proper torment you. You don't know me. But you see, enough truth thing to start and joke, right? And unfortunately, society likes scunt. It's proper like a stupidness. This is why I can't always speak straight or speak with a certain degree of intelligence, because you know it flies over people's head. So I gotta keep it gangster, right? Gotta keep it Guyanese. You can't vacuum this shit. It's pint of broom sweeping everybody's foot. None of y'all getting married today. You gotta understand. Sorry, Guyanese talk, Guyanese joke. You gotta understand what's going on, right? But there needs to be some degree of common sense in these investigations. And if you're gonna lie to us, shit, tell us a lie that's believable. We need that. At least a little false hope is better than none. Don't you see Granger did it for his people? It worked for 5 years. False hope, it works. But you can't tell me the man was in the building, locked down, and all them out of the building burned down. Because a man like that would have never had to do any robbery. That man could have looked at the bank and the money would have fly into his pocket. A man like that should have been the president, because he apparently, man got skill. The man make everybody look bad. Right? So, if that man is not related to Jesus Christ, then that man is mentally ill and being forced to say those things. Or he's the cover-up guy. Because I don't understand how that could happen. That man there behind solid, thick, skunk concrete like this. Some big fat bar. Don't get excited now, people. Right? And the man still somehow use a mattress. That mattress had to be made from the same fabric that Aladdin's magic carpet was made of. Because somehow when he light it, it's going to fly. It fly over to all the location, looking for Jasmine and burn down the place. Right? So, you know, I think that I think that people are insulting the intelligence of the Guyanese population by telling us a set of dumb shit. And I know it's dumb shit because my ADD is acting up. Right? So, you know, I think when they lie to us, they got to lie better. Lie on your back, it can go in easier. But don't lie standing up to we face, because we ain't taking it. Come with better lie. Go back to the school of lies. Go to the blackboard. Draw it stunt out properly. Thou shalt not tell stupid lies for sake of being clowned on by Papa Snow and social media. You need to write that shit 1,000 times. Learn to lie properly. Lie down on your back. Like I said, it gonna go in easier. Right? For your comfort. Right? Let's see what the comments are saying. Verone, I would like to see a public interrogation of this man given and confession to this crime in detail. Yeah, I would love to see that shit. I would love to see that. Right? Savita, such a report should never have given to the media public. The destruction of Brick Dam Station is not a joke. No, it's not a joke. It is not a joke. Right? But it is something that the public needs to be aware of. Right? I'm joking about it. You see, Savita, you never got locked up and put in that place wrongfully. I did. Good at scunt one now. Right? But I don't like the manner in which it was done because there is no reality behind it. There is no reality behind it. Because there shall always be a cause and an effect. And this man's story, even if he got the cause, there's no possible way that I could see that effect happening without assistance. Something had to happen. Something had to happen. Think about it. Jesus Christ don't come all the time. Maybe it is the end, oh guys. He come back as a robber man. Lord, forgive me. Forgive me, Lord. I ain't know Jesus come as a robber man. Chilling out the Brick Dam. Something funny happening. Got to explain it. Got to explain. I want to see some scientific proof. Call CSI. You said we were calling for some international support. I know this guy named Horatio. Yeah. You're going to call him. Right? And he going to show up, scunt. And he going to check. Right? I'm sorry. Like I said, I'm a funny dude. But this is reality, people. If it is a serious thing, then they need to be serious enough to give us excuses that make sense. Whoever decided to even bring that man's foolish confession to the media, they need to good slap in this cunt. You need to take them in for a psychological evaluation. Who went to tell the media though? Who put it out there? Because let me tell you something. I remember witnessing a man get gunned down in a prison yard. And when we told the truth about what happened, the media was never there to hear it. So how could the media hear what this other prisoner said? Too convenient. And we know in Guyana, everything takes time. You go to GRA, you're waiting 20 hours. You gotta come back tomorrow, next week, so on and so forth. You got housing, you're waiting 15 years for a house lot. You got GPL, you're waiting the whole day for pay a bill. How y'all start getting results so fast? Tell me. How did this just magically fall into your lap? Something don't make sense. Now you also said that the man was frustrated about being in the lockups for a few hours. So he's going to confess to something that's going to make him stay locked up forever? Everything about these articles I read in here is complete bullshit. It contradicts itself. One thing I know about a bad man, them don't want to be in jail. One thing I know about plenty thief, man, them don't want to be in jail. And any criminal would always go for the less offense before he take the big one. Sir, what do you want? Do you want to be convicted of murder 1 or do you want to be convicted of manslaughter, Your Honor? Why? Because he knows it carries less time. So something don't make sense here. Somebody's telling a lie. But I do support our president because we are under domestic attack, and I can tell you that we are under domestic attack because some jackass decided to think that was somehow possible. That man could have been locked up in that building with no way to get out unless an officer opens up the strong door, right, to let him out. So are you telling me that somebody let him out so he can walk around and light fires? Because that's the only realistic way that man could have done that. Because even other inmates stated that officers had to let them out from in there when the fire started. So if the officer let him out to move him away from the fire after the fire has already started, how did he start the fire? From where? Did he have a drone? Possibility. Very slim possibility. But if he had a drone flying around and setting fire, then how come they didn't notice the remote control? Did he hide it somewhere? Ooh, I wonder where he hid it. So something is not making sense. But one thing that I do know, and I do know this for a fact, ladies and gentlemen, is that we are under attack. Physically, financially, emotionally, and apparently also our intelligence and common sense is currently under attack if they think we're going to accept the stunt as the excuse. We know y'all got a lie. Please go back and come back with a better lie. At least have that much respect for the population of Guyana. Thank you very much. You guys have a good night. I gotta go. I gotta eat something. Lie down and thank God, for another day. And pray that after the powers that be sees this, nobody don't come for execute me, right? But just in case, what the hell? Jesus had to die. I'm gonna have to die. You're gonna have to die someday. But at least we don't have to look at death the same way everybody else does. When it comes, embrace it. It's a part of life. You guys take care. Have a good night. Bye-bye.